The San Antonio Spurs, 22-year playoff streak, ended earlier this year, I guess it would be, just a couple months ago. Jake, should we be selling our stock and popping the Spurs, or is it something that we want to sit on because it is, at the end of the day, it's pop?
Give me just a moment to groan for a minute. Oh, San Antonio. This it feels wrong. I feel like I'm doing something wrong by saying that they're one of the bottom teams in the league with Popovich as their coach. I feel the basketball gods are not appreciating it, but it's true. It's true. These guys are in a situation where I think they got, and we'll have to see what Cody thinks, but I feel like they've got just the wrong pieces, which would have been anybody's mistake. They got good pieces, but they might just be the wrong pieces, and it's not going to work. It didn't work last year. It's not going to work this year, if I were to guess. But you can't ever count the Pop out of it. Cody, what do you think about the Spurs, dude?
I think you're spot on with a lot of it. Like, you can't ever discount Popovich, and I felt like the one thing that separates him from these other coaches in the hierarchy of the best coaches of all time is that he's always been willing to adapt. If you look at that 20-year run that they had, they changed their style up 3 different occasions.
Yeah,
with the talent that they had, the aging roster that they had.
You're right.
And that's pretty much where they're stuck at right now. Is he tried to be kind of the antithesis of the NBA, that the pace, 3-point shooting, where he's trying to slow it down and be more of that mid-range game. And I can appreciate that because that's what the talent that he has on there, notably LaMarcus and DeRozan. But where it's blowing up in their face is the fact that, like, there's a reason why the rest of the NBA teams are going with pace and 3-point shooting.
Yeah,
it's hard to keep up. If you can't hit those threes at a high volume, good clip, you start noticing that you're not compiling those wins. But I'll give Pop credit, though. It's like he had the talent there. Why would you try to force DeMar DeRozan to shoot threes when he's proven throughout his career that he can't shoot them?
Yeah,
so
absolutely. You know what is something that I want to look at a bright spot for San Antonio, and somebody that I've always respected and thought that just has an incredibly bright future in the game is Becky Hammon, an assistant coach under Pop for years and years. I think she is a phenomenal coach, and I really do believe that the team that decides to pull the trigger and make her the first female head coach of the NBA will not regret it.
Absolutely. I completely agree with you. I think that she's very smart, very talented. Someone needs to give her an opportunity. One thing, just to kind of play devil's advocate with that, though, is Steven Silas got hired as a head coach of the Houston Rockets.
Yeah.
And a lot of people were like kind of in dismay of like, why didn't you hire Becky Hammon?
Right.
You know, like she just shoots up the and talents. If the talent's there, hire the most talented person on the job. But I think people also need to kind of take a realization that Steven Silas, for example, had spent 20 years on the bench as an assistant coach.
20 years? Did you say 20 years?
20 years. Yeah, 20 years. And I mean,
shit.
He, I can't remember what team he started out for, but you're talking about the early aughts. And so he spent his time. And I think with Becky Hammon, I think people have to kind of take a step back, as she may not get she will eventually get the opportunity, and deservingly so. But as you start seeing these coaches get first time looks, first time opportunities, take a step back and go like, there's been people that serve their time on the bench. She might need to. It might take her a minute.
Oh, interesting. That's crazy. I had no idea that he was the Silas was 20 year on the bench. It might be a long while before we see her.
Oh yeah, I'm willing to bet within the next 5 years. I mean, and not to mention it's a good what is it? The glass ceiling type of move, I suppose.
Absolutely.
And it's not to discount the fact that like she deserves an opportunity with it, but a lot of times with that NBA politics and stuff like that, you kind of need to. There's a process and time spent on that bench that, like, before we get ahead of ourselves with it, I think she's going to need to spend some time there.
Unless you're like a Steve Nash kind of guy, where you're just,
Oh yeah,
you know, then you
yeah.
get
Yeah.
put to the head of the line. You get the you don't wait in any lines to be coach. You're invited, and here
You're right there.
Yeah. With regards to Becky, what are your recommendations for that? I mean, now for the people listening out there in the ethos, how long has she been under Pop?
Oh shit! I can look it up.
I believe 3 to 4 years.
Popovich will probably likely be the type of individual that if it continues on that downhill slope, he'll go ahead and excuse himself.
If I'm going to be like clairvoyant on this, I think the way I foresee it going is I see Popovich isn't getting any younger. Right? I believe he's in his 70s, oldest coach in the NBA,
Oof.
and some juncture he's slowing down. And if this team's struggling, the way I see it happening is, and this could even happen this year. I wouldn't be surprised if
Really?
they're one of the bottom 3 teams. He might just go, you know what? I'm stepping aside. And if I'm Becky Hammond, and she is a smart girl, she probably knows that she's better suited to be the next Popovich for the Spurs.
Yeah.
Than, well, because a lot of stuff is like with the Luke Walton thing is like, Luke Walton took pretty much any job that's open and available to see what's out there.
Yeah.
But totally discounted the fact that sometimes that opportunity, taking a step back and waiting for a better opportunity might be better suited for
Good call. I like that. I really think that's probably her best in is to follow after Pop if that happens.